So to recover is to return to a state of health, mind, and strength. Without soundness of mind, it would be difficult to accomplish anything, let alone achieve. And there is a difference between accomplishment and achievement. To accomplish is to use self-control, to manage your temptations, and to succeed at a goal you set. To achieve is to use grit to manage your temptations at multiple levels that require self-control and to pursue long-term success. So for instance, if you passing a course only requires self-control, and then you are a success once you get your grade, right? Not the ultimate success, but you successfully completed that goal that you set, right, to pass that course. But when you want to solve a problem that might take 10, 15, 20, 25 years, you're going to need grit. And at each level, you utilize self-control to propel yourself, to push yourself forward. But self-control, I mean, accomplishing something is really connected to success. Achievement is really connected to grit. So to accomplish is to use self-control to manage your temptations and to succeed at a goal you set. By contrast, to achieve is to use grit to manage your temptations at multiple levels. So if you're trying to solve a 10, 15, 20, 25 year problem, then you need to make sure that you have the capacity to do so. I mean, honestly, you need to be sure that's what you want to do. For example, if you are trying to solve the Syrian crisis, or if you're going to try to solve this pandemic issue, even though people think we're going to be out of this issue in a year or two, we are all basically living in setback, but it's going to take some time to recover, and that's going to be its own process because it's going to also require correction. Why didn't we heed warnings? There were plenty of warnings concerning this pandemic issue, and we didn't listen to the right people. We put money in other areas. We are very good at putting money, $25,000 a plate or something like that, to the Cancer Society or to the Diabetes Foundation or HIV/AIDS. We are very good at putting tons of funding there, but we don't have enough funding in areas of public health or areas where we need to sort of prepare for something. Like, we know about the 1918 Spanish epidemic, right? Why didn't we have enough people preparing us? Why didn't we heed to that historical fact? And so we tend to be more reactive than proactive in our efforts. And then that leads us to miss opportunities, and then we are punished and have to feel pain and be corrected, and then we got to do recovery. And I said to myself, at 46 years old, I'm tired of making the types of decisions that put me in a stage of correction and then into recovery. The recovery time can just be too long, and I'm just basically tired of it. So I consciously make better decisions. I do my best, so I don't engage in something that I know that I don't have a passion for. I try not to put myself on paths that I have not prepared. I stay in my lane until I can prepare for the next level. So if you're going to fight an issue like the Syrian crisis, that's where their whole country is just completely decimated. Okay, rebuilding is going to take some time. It's not going to take one person. It's going to take organizations. It's going to take Red Cross, humanitarian agencies, governments, things like that. So then you have to gauge your contribution, how long you can contribute. Some organizations can only contribute a year. But then there are some organizations that are willing to put in a time for 5 years, and you have to know your capacity. So achieving something, you can pass a class. You can set a goal, endure the goal, and complete the goal, right? But if you're looking to change the world or change something or do something that's going to bring about change, that's going to take time and preparation. And you're not going to have to, and you're not going to have a whole lot of time to engage in distraction. The woman, Dr. Kismikia Corbett, a black woman who is responsible for the vaccine, before that happened, she had years and years and years of preparation. Any kind of advances in cancer research or diabetes research or HIV/AIDS research, especially now that people can take like a cocktail of medicines and they can live with AIDS for a very long time. Okay, that takes preparation. They had to sit with a problem that they created as a hypothesis for years before they could get anywhere. And you have to have that courage. So again, there's a difference between accomplish and achieve. The last thing I'm going to say, it just reminds me of the Olympic athlete, that they train every day, hours on end, just to run a 20-second race and win, of course, right? But they train for years, and that's how you have to be if you're going to recover or solve any sort of problem, if you're thinking about it in terms of achievement. But you yourself, if you're going to recover, you have to make sure that you go through the processes that are required for you to recover so you can sustain your comeback. That if you're still in a setback, that means you are basically surviving. You haven't overcome anything. You are still surviving. And so in your recovery time, you want to look at this as a way of returning to that state of health, mind, and strength. Any experience with recovery will usher you into an understanding about broken thinking. And so if you think about the track star, some track stars who have been caught using steroids or illegal performance enhancing drugs, I'm quite sure they would rethink that option. It's not even an option, really. It's the wrong path. So now you are banned from that sport. You can't compete in the Olympics. And a lot of people think, well, if I do this, if I go on this campaign, this public campaign of being a better person and doing right and going to counseling, I get back onto that path. Some decisions you make, you may never recover. There's a guy who hit his wife in the face in an elevator. There was a track star who took illegal performance enhancing drugs who could never compete. She ended up having to go and play basketball. There is another guy who used to cycle, and it was found out that he had been taking illegal performance enhancing drugs. He could never compete. So there are some decisions that you may never recover from, because maybe your broken thinking is still there. And I believe as a society, we tend to give people another chance. But if you don't address your broken thinking about taking drugs to enhance your performance or lying or something like that, we're not going to give you another chance. And so therefore, you may never recover from that. You can still live your life, but I don't know if anybody would just completely take you seriously anymore, because you will be branded as a liar.